Welcome to Sports Law in 5 minutes. Now today I'm going to talk about the Court of Arbitration for Sport, what it does and how it actually works. So what is it? Well, it's an independent institution which was set up in the 1980s, originally being the brainchild of the International Olympic Committee. It is now separate from that, and its statute came into force in 1984. The decisions that it makes have the same authority as a court decision. So how does it work? Well, it's not a court in the conventional sense. Parties don't go to trial. So let's briefly remind ourselves what arbitration actually is. It's an alternative dispute resolution procedure. So it's an alternative to going to court. And here, in any arbitration procedure, parties will submit a dispute to the arbitrator and then agree to be bound by an award which the arbitrator hands down. For a dispute to be heard at the Court of Arbitration for Sport, it needs to be sports related, and parties must agree in writing that the case is to be submitted to the court. This can be done either after the dispute has arisen, or more often than not, it's done before the dispute has arisen. So it will be within a commercial contract or a sporting body's regulations that once a dispute arises, the Court of Arbitration for Sport will be used. So let's briefly go through the three main procedures at the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Firstly, you have the ordinary arbitration procedure. Now these are first instance disputes, so those not appealed. And now this type of arbitration accounts for around 10% of the caseload, and it usually takes 6 to 12 months after the dispute is submitted for an award to be handed down. Each party will submit one arbitrator, or choose one arbitrator rather, from a court-approved list, and then between the two of them they will usually agree on a president of the panel. If the two arbitrators can't agree, then the president of the panel will be chosen by the president of the ordinary arbitration division. Secondly, there is the appeal arbitration procedure. Now this is much more common. It accounts for around 90% of the court's caseload. So it's good to think of this as something of an appeal court. It rules on a dispute after a decision has already been made by another sporting body. So similar to the ordinary arbitration procedure, each party will choose one arbitrator, and then out of those two arbitrators there will be a president of the panel. However, in the appeal arbitration procedure, the president is always chosen by the president of the appeals arbitration division. It is, though, a substantially quicker procedure than the ordinary procedure. Once an appeal is submitted, then and transferred to the panel, an award must be made within 3 months. A good example of this procedure at work was the recent appeal by the Russian Paralympic Committee. They appealed against the decision by the International Paralympic Committee to exclude Russian athletes from the Games, and this appeal was subsequently dismissed. The third and final procedure is the ad hoc arbitration procedure. Now, as the name suggests, ad hoc divisions crop up. Here they crop up every Winter and Summer Olympic Games. It then has jurisdiction over disputes that arise during the Games or 10 days preceding the opening ceremony. Procedurally, it works in a similar way to the appeals procedure, but is designed to be a hell of a lot quicker. And the rulings are meant to be made prior to the athlete's event, so the athlete could compete in the event in question. A good example in the Rio Olympics was the ad hoc division dismissed the appeal of the Russian Weightlifting Federation against its suspension for doping. So that's very briefly a bit of background about the Court of Arbitration for Sport. I do a regular blog which provides a bit more information about the Court of Arbitration for Sport as well as other issues. Also, the Court of Arbitration for Sport has a very good website in French and English, which is definitely worth visiting. And I also recommend you follow my Twitter, which is Edward_Jeavons, and I'll be keeping you updated with further videos, and hopefully I'll see you again very soon.